Yeah, you can pretend like you're on the internet. Oh, I'm perfect. I've always been perfect. Genius.
Right. Okay, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. I've been an idiot for a long time.
I'm not here to impress nobody. I'm married.
Right. I'm off the market. I just can't tell my wife. I already suckered it into signing that contract, though.
Right. Yeah, I got you now.
Yeah.
And we're linked forever now.
Yeah, that's right. We got a kid. You ain't going nowhere.
I trapped you.
Right, exactly. That's how that works. It's true. See, guys can be pieces of shit, too. To the shock of literally no one. All right, here we go. Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Nerdpocalypse Podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
It is a wonderful day, folks. It's a day that I've been waiting for ever since Jay had his daughter. It's the day that he has discovered that toddlers are assholes.
The goddamn worst. I didn't just discover it, but certainly today was a day that I got a hard reminder. It's just a hard reminder. Oh, I think my daughter fake cried at least 4 or 5 times today. Yeah. The terrible twos or the terrible almost twos. Yeah, they're right here.
Yeah, man. It's like the real world now. You know what I mean? I don't know if people can see. I literally have the makings behind me of multiple gin and tonics. There's your tonic water, there's your lime juice, and there's your Bar Hill gin. So I'm already into I'm halfway into my second one as we've just been doing pregame show work. So should be fun. I feel like my eyes are pretty heavy already. So yeah, let's get right into it. There are things to talk about this week. I'm not going to say plenty of things. It's a pretty light docket, but we make it work. So let's jump right into it. The Q Into the Storm docuseries for HBO Max is now over. All 6 episodes are out. I loved how HBO was like, here's the last 2. Like, we're not even going to make you wait. They just dropped the last 2 on the same day. Like, fuck it. Everyone is super interested. This is hitting. I thought the ending was fantastic. HBO, I thought, crushed this series the entire time. And they did a really good job of sort of bringing it to a head in a way. I mean, I'm not sure that they had planned. It just worked out really well. Yeah.
Sort of bringing all of the QAnon craziness to a head with literally watching 2 of the main characters of this documentary at the Capitol riots cheering it on. Because, in fact, I guess you could make a conspiracy theory that this is not true, but I think it's pretty obvious to most people that Ron Watkins, the son, is Q, and Jim Watkins also knew that, if not also poses Q at some point too. This was my supposition before this started anyway. But it was nice to see it dumbly confirmed by Ron Watkins, who just could not keep it down, because you can't create a cult, get millions of people to follow it, and storm the Capitol and not want to take credit for it.
Yeah. I mean, it's classic narcissistic psychopath behavior, right? Like, it's Riddler shit. You know what I mean? Like, oh, the Riddler's genius, but he wants you to know that he's the one that's doing it. But he's smart enough to not just be like, I'm Q. You know what I mean? Right. But he's like, this was a fun documentary. Not fun, but it was entertaining. And usually documentaries like this that focus on people and like real life, like documentaries are difficult to end, right? Like, look at Serial, right? Everyone remembers the Serial podcast, and it was a phenomenon. And when it got to the end, I mean, they didn't really have an ending. They were just like, they even said it. They were like, I mean, I guess,
he's still in jail, y'all. Right? Like, so, yeah, it's incredibly hard.
And they happen to strike gold.
Yeah, they did.
Unfortunately, for the country, with how they were able to end this thing. And to relive that day, it just pissed me off all over again,
Well, and it's not even just yes, it is reliving the day, but it's also reliving the day with the context that you have now.
Right. That's what I was about to say. Like reliving it with Jim Watkins walking with the documentarian and
saying that how he's so proud of his son.
Right.
That he duped the world, basically. I mean, there is something grossly to admire about a person who's able to have that level of control, but it's annoying and anger inducing because you used it in an evil way, right? You could use that ability to move people in positive ways, but you're such a sociopath that your idea is, why don't we just wreck normal society?
Now there's an interesting question, right? That guy has the power to manipulate people.
Right.
But you say, oh, you could use it for good, but you didn't.
I'm not so sure you can, actually.
Right, because, human nature is once human beings have made up their mind in the face of overwhelming evidence to the contrary, they are going to stick with what they believe.
I mean,
that's the basis for religion, right? Like that's how people manipulate. And look, I hate the religious aspect of religion. I guess if you want to call me spiritual or whatever, that's what I am. But
you don't like the made up nonsense.
I don't like I don't like the fucking the manipulation of it. I don't like the manipulation of it.
I'm not a fan of it either.
I find it fascinating. I find it absolutely fascinating, though, because I feel like I wouldn't be manipulated by certain things, right? And to see all of these, I feel bad. Part of me feels bad for these people because they're rubes, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I don't feel bad for them because they're adults. And
yes,
in the world that we live in now, technology, you can literally find anything you need to know about anything in the palm of your hand.
Yeah.
And people choose to either A, not do it, or B, travel in their little echo chamber circles.
Right.
And it just is frustrating to me. So I don't have pity for these people, but at the same time, they're dangerous, man. They're dangerous.
They're incredibly dangerous. And the thing that the documentary shows is that, yes, while people can be duped, spoiler alert for, a fantastic point that Brad made on Look Forward that's coming out in a day or so. He was like, yeah, he's not surprised because people use cult thinking now. For a lot of people do. And that's not shitting on religion, but the difference between a cult and a religion is numbers. That's it. It is, right? Whether you believe it or not, you're believing it on faith. And I'm not trying to shit on people's religion. But what is the difference between, I think this magical man exists and has powers and can oversee the world, and this military insider who we don't know is secretly understands all this stuff we don't? That's not much, right? It's, Christians often say, and I'll just say Christian because I used to be Christian when I was a kid, is that you guide by faith. That's what these people are doing, right? There's a reason why the evangelical community can get hooked into this Q stuff, right? There is, and I'm not trying to be an asshole, but so that magical thinking or that thinking or agreeing, I shouldn't even say thinking, but that agreement without proof isn't that hard to understand when you look at how people just like, I'm guided by faith, man. Like, I don't need hard facts. I'm guided by faith. And that's fine. As long as you're not an asshole, I'm fine with it. But that's the thing is like, I'm not surprised that people get pulled into this.
I don't understand. Like, you know, part of me understands the being guided by faith from something that you can't see, touch, taste, smell, hear in any tangible way.
Right.
I can understand that. That is faith. You are literally blind to it. And you are, but to follow man like that, to follow human beings like that,
well,
the cult of personality, I will forever be fascinated by, because I kind of want people to worship me. But
there it is. The truth comes out. Jesus Christ.
But I will never ever understand it. It's like that. Fishbone song, man. Like,
yeah, cult of personality.
Yeah, man. Like, I tell you 1 and 1 makes 3. And okay,
this guy's making a lot of sense to me. All right. You know, it's just, I guess for me, I see your point, right? Like, I get that. But I think the problem is people who are, I think the reason why you find it fascinating, AKA you don't get why people would follow someone that, you know, like you don't have any verifiable information. I think really the reason why you don't follow is because you're smart. That's it. Like, I'm not trying to be an asshole to anybody. The fact that I'm giving you a compliment shows how horrible I find this option. But people are dumb, man. Like, people are dumb. And there is not a single person you can convince me that goes, oh, yeah, I believe in Q is smart. They're not. They're not. Like, if they legitimately believe it, here's how I know. Simple thought experiment. I believe in Q. QAnon is giving us the information to stop these Satan worshiping pedophile Democrats. Okay. Here's my question to you. Why would that person who is trying to stop this, why would they post exclusively on a site that posts child pornography?
Right.
Why? Why would they take you to child pornographic images and Nazi images and horrible things if they were a moral leader? That doesn't make any sense. And you know why it doesn't make any sense to you, Micah, as you're hearing this, or anybody listening to this show who's hearing this goes, that's crazy. Why would anyone believe that? Because you're actually above average intelligence. You're smart. People who listen to that and go, makes a lot of sense to me, never thought about it, bro. Those people are dumb. They're dumb. And those are QAnon followers. Like, they just are. It's just a lack of intelligence and a lack of nuance and a lack of reason. So I find that immensely fascinating as a documentary series. I do.
Wild, man. Correction before, because I know someone is out there and they're screaming at whatever device they're listening to us on. It was Living Color that did Cult of Personality.
Oh, what did you say? Oh, you said Fishbone.
Yeah.
Just Living Color. That's true.
So
it's got a U in it. It's different. Think about it. It's a great song. What was the wrestler who did Living Color?
CM Punk.
Oh, that's right. Because they played live for him, right?
I think at one point.
Like WrestleMania or something.
But yes. So, yes, there you go. Now you can take a breath.
Yeah. No. They already sent the letter. Yeah, you fucked up. So, yeah, Q Into the Storm. Highly, highly, highly recommend. Very good.
Yeah, you should. It's wild. Like, it's just so... I don't know. I find human beings interesting.
That's a very weird thing to say. Like, as if you're not one. The other thing that I would say about the documentary before we move on is if you think there is a separation between like trolling and like goofball internet shit, there isn't. Like, Gamergate is directly involved in this.
Yeah, it is mentioned numerous times.
Like the dude who created it. Like they have him here. And as somebody said, he looks like a thumb, and they're not wrong. That guy's a piece of shit. Like, I hate women. Yeah, well, dude, we know, because no one's touching your penis. You're gross.
Yeah, they all look exactly how you think they would look, too.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
Yeah.
And we were having a discussion. Look, I don't care if you get offended. If you are an American living in, like, the Philippines or anywhere in that part of the world, particularly if you are a Caucasian gentleman.
The only place I would say is like if you're there for business for China or you're living in Japan. Sure. Like Japan is like culturally like a significant place in the world. So I totally get that, right?
Yeah, I get that. I'm talking about
the Philippines.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. Look. I'm trying to go to Japan for my 50th.
Oh, real interesting. Interesting. With your wife. Okay.
But if you decide that you want to live there for no other reason, like no business decision or anything like that, I'm looking at your real suspect, man.
Yo, the age of consent in the Philippines, at last I checked, was 12.
Yeah.
12. 12, dog.
That's gross, man.
Well, there's no age of consent in Afghanistan. You just have to be married.
Jesus.
Burkina Faso, it's 13, right? We don't have to just give Asian people a hard time. We give African people a hard time too. What the fuck? Just looking down the list. Micronesia, 14. Hungary, 14. White people. Italy, 14? Come on, man. What the fuck? Wow, Japan, 13. Not acceptable, man. Not acceptable. Yo, the age of consent is way too low in some of these places. Like,
yeah.
Like that, yo, it should be like 21 as far as I'm concerned. Seriously, like 18 at a minimum. Like if you can get whatever the age you can go into the military, that should be the age of consent. Nah, like it's not 18 in the United States, you know.
Whatever age you can legally smoke. Because can't you go in the military at 18, but you can't smoke until like 20?
No, you can smoke at 18. You can smoke at 18. You can't drink. You can't drink.
There you go. It should be whatever you can't do. You could drink at 21, then you should be able to consent.
My thing is, you should be able to drink at 18. Because if you can send a man or a woman off to war to kill a person, they should be able to have a beer. That feels reasonable to me.
That's unacceptable. That's why I thought it was smoking.
No. No, you have to be 18 to smoke. Like, that's stupid. Like, it should, like, the United States, the minimum is 16 years old. No. If you're trying to get married, if you're trying to marry a 16-year-old and you're also not 16, you're a fucking creep. Even if you're 17. Like that's how hard-lined I am. No, stop marrying children. It's weird. It's fucking weird. Child marriages are gross. Yeah, so the Watkins guys, as far as I'm concerned, allegedly they're pedophiles, as far as my personal feelings. But fuck those guys. But yeah, Q Into the Storm, highly recommend. You should watch it. HBO Max. Here's a show I forgot to talk about last week, and I deeply, deeply regret it. Kim's Convenience. Have you watched the show?
No, but I heard the show is very, very good.
No, it's not. It's not very good. That's a lie. It's excellent. It's one of the best fucking shows of all time. Like, I'm putting it out there. It's one of the best shows of all time. It really is. Kim's Convenience is incredibly funny. Incredibly funny. It doesn't have a laugh track. It doesn't, like, it's just a show about a Korean family in Canada that runs a convenience store. And just, like, what happens to their lives. Like, it's a father. If you remember, like, the heavyset Asian guy, he was on The Mandalorian. He was one of the X-Wing pilots on that, like, spider episode of The Mandalorian that shows up.
I remember that.
He's the dad. Incidentally, I think he's a year older than my wife, but he looks like he's in his 60s, which is just fucking wild.
He's only, well, I won't give his age, but yeah,
I don't give a shit. It's like 47, right?
He's 48.
Yeah, he's 2 years older than my wife, right? Which is wild. Like, it's just wild.
Especially in this Wikipedia picture.
He looks like an old man. Like, the woman playing his wife is literally 10 years older than him. She's almost into her 60s, right? Like, which is the age that he's clearly playing. But because he's just a bald guy, an Asian guy who's balding with a salt and pepper beard, mostly salt, like, he looks so much older. Like, it's hilarious. Like, this dude's 48. But it's him, his wife, and their daughter, who's like 21 years old or 20. And then they have their son, who has this strained relationship with the dad, who he kicked out, played by the dude who's going to be Shang-Chi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And like, they really kind of play up the whole idea of like him being like really good looking throughout the entire series. Like, he's like, oh, is this a situation I can take my shirt off? Like, yeah, all right, relax. It is so good, and it has so much heart. Like, each episode's like 20 minutes, right? Like 22 minutes or something like that. I haven't seen a bad episode yet. Not yet. It's like it's got like 4 seasons. My wife and I are like just plowing through it. It's like, look, man, if you're looking for something to watch, like people who really liked Schitt's Creek, check out Kim's Convenience on Netflix. Like, I feel like this is like, I didn't get into Schitt's Creek like my wife did, who absolutely loved it. I just didn't get into it, which, like, I watched a couple episodes and I thought they were good. I need to kind of go back and like actually sit and watch them. But the way people talk about Schitt's Creek is the way, and it's a very similar crowd, loves Kim's Convenience. Like, it's good. And it's Canadian. So it has like a level of like different than American comedy that works, I think, a little bit better. That's my personal thing. But it's also,
does it feel like Working Moms?
Yeah. I like Working Moms.
Canadian show.
Yeah, Working Moms is a good show. And so the thing about it is, because they're Korean, in wherever in Canada, it's super diverse. It's super diverse, dude. Like, there is like they're Christian, but they've got a Korean pastor, and then a black woman becomes the associate pastor at their church. The father has like this friend, because he runs a little convenience store, but he's got all these other minority and white friends that he's known over the years, right? Because he's been running this store forever. And like, he's got this Indian guy who runs an Indian restaurant in the area, and they're like both around the same age. So he comes in and hangs out, and they like bullshit about like what's going on. He's got this other, I think he's Chinese friend who often shows up, like Mr. Chen, like who's trying to like fuck this hot like Russian chick at one point, like who's way younger than him. Like, it's, she wasn't that hot. Actually, it's fine. But it's a really funny show. And his son is working at this like car rental shop. So they're like slowly but surely trying to repair their relationship, because his son used to steal when he was younger, but he got his life together or whatever. And his son's got this roommate who's funny. Like, it's very good. Like, they deal with like, they've got a cousin who comes from Korea who is like very South Korean, like all the like BTS type of shit. And they're like trying to deal with like her personality versus here they are Canadian. So they're way more toned down, but she's got like multiple colored hair and like, like a Japanese girl kind of thing. Like, it's like, it does a lot of really good shit. Like, but it's got some heart, man. Like, there's a couple episodes where I was just like, I kind of teared up. I was like, this is really good. Like, it's adorable. But it's a fucking fantastic show. Everyone should watch Kim's Convenience. Like,
all right.
Yeah.
Well,
highly recommend.
I just added it.
I think you and your wife, honestly, would love that show. I sent it to my mom, who used to work as a nurse in a Korean like adult daycare. She was like, yo, I'm already on like season 3. She was like, this show is so funny. Cause she knows Korean, she knows Korean. She speaks a little bit of Korean. So like, she was like, this is spot on and it's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. Funny. Yeah.
That's funny.
So she immediately sent it to a Korean friend of hers who thought it was great. So
you mentioned the Korean diversity in their church. It must be nice. We live down the street from a Korean church, and I don't know if people just don't go in there or what, but it's all Korean, and it's weird because
there's a Korean church not far from me either, as well.
There's a church directly across the street from it. That's just not a Korean church. It's just two churches preaching the same shit.
Like, just go next door. Like, nah.
It's just
I'll understand it over
Korean, and the other one isn't. Like, it's just so weird to me, man.
But their church is weird because not weird. It's vastly Korean. But then there's like Black Christians that also go to the church. Like, it's funny. Like, when people talk about diversity, like, this show is actual diversity. Like, it really, really is. And it doesn't feel tacked on, which is nice. But I'm definitely late to the game. I'm not going to pretend like I'm newly discovering it. But Kim's Convenience is super good. Like, it really is. It's as good as everyone says it is. Better, honestly. All right, let's talk about episode 3 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So we're just letting Sharon Carter just give people brain damage. Like, that's just what we're doing.
You know, something tells me that
loved it.
They might throw a monkey wrench into this series, and I think Sharon might be. I think Sharon might be a villain.
Really?
I think. I don't know. I just get a vibe. I get a vibe, and I kind of hope not. Like, I kind of hope she's just like at a low point, right? Because she's been, on the run, disavowed, and has to live in Madripoor with the Watkins.
Well, what's the age of consent there? It's probably 12, right? Creeps.
And but it was good seeing her back, and it was really good seeing her be awesome. I like Emily Van Camp in this role.
I do, and she really got the shaft in those Cap movies. Like, they just could not find a place for her, and I don't think it's like they didn't like the character. I think they were just loaded.
They were overstuffed, man.
Yeah, they were just loaded. Like, yo, we don't have time for this relationship. We just really don't. And they'd never finish the relationship. They kept extending the relationship between Peggy and Cap. And so it's like, you can't do Sharon if Peggy is still around.
Yeah, if Steve is like, this, you're my best girl, you can't then go be with her niece or whatever, yo.
Right. And look, to the comics, like, to criticize the comics directly, that's creepy, dude.
It
like,
is, yo.
It's a bit weird. Like, it's a bit weird. So I'm kind of glad that they just let Steve be with Peggy and just be done with it. Like, I don't need Cap getting the reputation of like, oh no, I'll just bang any Carter I can get my hands on. Like, that's gross and weird. So I thought that was nice to see her. I will say this. Her dialogue explaining like what she's been doing and what she's been up to feels very much like an In and Out universe kind of thing, where she was kind of like, they were sort of recouping her as a character, but also like, we realized we didn't do enough for you as an actress. Like, so we're going to give you more, which I thought was dope.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see her continue on in that universe, like back into the mainline MCU, to be honest. But I'm sorry, I cut you off. So what are your other thoughts?
I really enjoyed this episode. One, because there wasn't a lot of John Walker, and John Walker is the best type of wrestling heel. He's the guy that you pay to go see because you hate him. Right? Yes. You don't hate him. You don't hate him because he's bad at his job. You hate him because the writers want you to hate him.
Yeah.
And Wyatt Russell just has one of those faces, Yeah.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, exactly. Like,
all all right.
Okay, he's definitely gonna say like, I'm not racist, I got a black friend, right? Like that's coming.
Oh, of course. Why do you think he's there?
Yeah, right. Like they put Battlestar there for that moment, and Battlestar been like, come on, bro, like don't do that. That guy's gonna get murdered.
I like that we're kind of building up to, right now, because I look online and people are like, I don't think John Walker's that bad, right? Like, of course not, right? Like you're supposed to not necessarily think he's that bad, right? Because because most people that you don't know, you think are great until you find out what their like alignment is on whatever spectrum, be it political or whatever.
Neurological.
and then if it doesn't like jive, then you feel a certain way about them, right? And that's I feel like that's what's going to happen here. On the other side of that coin, the way they're doing the Flag Smashers, Carly again is a character that I feel is very interesting. And I don't know if you saw this, but somebody posted some meme of someone who's like, oh, all these villains have a good point, and then the writers make them do something violent just in case, to remind you that they're villains, just in case you started to jump on their side. And I'm like, yo, that is the laziest ass analysis of what a villain is, right?
I wouldn't say that it's lazy as much as I would say it's wrong.
It's
dumb.
It's dumb.
It's a dumb analysis. That doesn't make sense.
It's the stupidest thing, right? Because one, like, that's what makes a villain interesting, right? When a villain kind of has a point.
Yeah, like that's good ones.
Right. And then you know that they're villains because I got a point, and this is this and this is that. By any means necessary. Like, right.
It's the means. It's not their view. Right. It's their means.
The ends don't justify the means.
That's exactly
like if I there are a lot of people in this world that I think should die. But if I kill them,
you're a villain.
I'm a murderer. I committed a crime and I need to go to jail, right? Like
you wouldn't necessarily be wrong, right? Like if you just went off and just shot everybody who, these people are, giant embezzling assholes, and you just shot them all, they'd be like, Micah's a villain. They wouldn't, and those people would be heralded as victims and heroes, right? Like you might be right. They shouldn't be around, but maybe killing them is not the right move.
Like that's why the extremes on either end are coming to the forefront in this series.
I mean, you called it.
That's what I like about it, man, because being extreme on either end is not cool, right? Like all the hyper leftists are out there. I'm friends with one, and he's like, he doesn't even consider himself progressive anymore. He's just like, he's just all the way out there. Like Democrats can do nothing right. And it's just like they're extremists, and they want a different type of anarchy than the people on the far right.
Right.
Who are like weirdly jingoistic and pro-government and anti-government. And it's so weird, right? But they're pro-government and anti-government, and then these people are share alike, but like don't take none of my stuff, but like everybody should have everything and nobody should work. And it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. But
extremism doesn't make any sense. I mean, like bringing it to the Flag Smashers is a perfect point, right? Because people are like, oh, well, because that tweet that you're referencing, right? It's like, because they're clearly talking about the Flag Smashers or any of the other MCU sort of villains like Thanos, right?
Well, put Killmonger on there, yo.
Like,
what the fuck?
Right. Like, I feel like, again, when people say Killmonger was right, no, but he wasn't right. Like, he wasn't. he got abandoned, and that part is fucked up. But like, why don't we just create war around the world? Is not the right response. Like, again, it's not like we need to have equality and like fight back against our oppressors. Correct. We need to murder innocent people who just happen to be the same race as our oppressors. Not the right answer there, guys. Like, it doesn't work like that. So it's always the general thought that we can agree with, which is good writing. And then it is the means where it falls off, where you go, well, what the fuck? Like, Thanos' whole idea is that the universe, like, resources and, you know, the amount of people doesn't match. So we need to fix that. Agreed. He's like, but how we do that is by killing half the people. Don't agree. Like, why don't you just make double the resources? He's like, nah, fuck that. like that's a great irony of Thanos. It's like, why don't you just make more food, dog? Like you got a glove that can just make like wheat. Like, just make it. Like, he's like, nah, fuck that. I don't want to do it. Bread. He's like, nah, fuck that. So the idea of the Flag Smashers is interesting, right? Because you can agree that they're thinking, well, there doesn't need to be any borders, man. Like, that's fine. Okay. Like, that's a very hippie kind of thing, but like, okay. But that's not really what they believe. What they believe is that the world was better when half the population was dead.
Right.
They believe that Thanos ultimately was correct. And if Thanos is a villain and has those mindsets and they agree with Thanos, that doesn't make them heroes. That makes them the opposite of heroes.
Right. They are, I think she even says it in the show, right? Like, they're like, oh, so these corrupt politicians just automatically come back and we're supposed to go back to the status quo? Like, no, it was better when they were gone, so they need to be gone again.
Right.
By any means necessary. And one of her right-hand men was like, yo, did you really have to blow that building up? And she's just like, it's the only language they understand. Nah, right. Yo, that don't make you a hero, yo.
Right. and you know, and you know, like one of the things that I think is really good about this series, many good things about it, but what I think really works is how you can take the things that are happening in this series and resonate them with reality, right? The reason why this series works is because you can hear exactly what Micah said, right? But you can take that and make that into a real world scenario, right? You can tie it to a real world scenario. Look up the Weather Underground. Look up the, you know, Animal Liberation Front. Like, these are left-wing organizations. Like, they exist in reality. The Animal Liberation Front, for example, is all about, like, they're a more extreme version of PETA, basically, right? They're like, we need to make sure animals aren't treated badly. Agreed. Nobody, you know, like, not dogfighting. Right, like, agreed.
I hate and am deathly afraid of dogs. I never ever want to see an animal get hurt.
Like, right, like, don't. Right, like, so even a psychopath like Micah can agree, right? So, like, it's real, you know, bargain basement sort of views here. So that's Animal Liberation's view, right? Like, don't hurt animals. Like, I agree, but they're more extreme than PETA, right? But then they're like, why don't we post pictures of scientific buildings and like, hey, like they're doing in there. So like, if you wanted to like, I don't know, maybe threaten to firebomb one of those buildings, not a big deal because it's about saving the animals. See, That's when the extremism goes off the fucking rails. Spoiler alert, the building I work in is on their fucking website, right? Like, so it's, you know, and that's why I bring them up. Like, I agree with their view on not hurting animals, but I also think like testing medicines on rats is okay because then people don't die of Huntington's disease. Crazy, right? Like, so it's, the point is that once you hit a line and you become extreme, that extremism just keeps moving and moving and moving and moving further and further and becomes more extreme until the point where you become a villain. And you're like, yeah, maybe we should just firebomb that building and kill all those people so we can save the rats. That's the point, right? So I like that Flag Smasher, the group, is like that because that makes sense. I don't have to go, well, the movie writers or the TV writers are making this up. They're not making it up. This is what happens in reality. Like, it's not made up.
It's art imitating life.
Yes, it's not the other way around. So,
which is why it's so good, because you can relate to it. Like, even on a subconscious level, you can relate to it.
Right. Look,
like,
man,
you understand it.
Look, here, I will say this to people who message me. This and WandaVision are two very different stories, right? Like, they are, yes, they're both Marvel, but they're very wildly different stories. They're both really good. They're really good. One is about grief, personal, heartfelt grief, and figuring that out in a murder, in a horror-ish mystery. This is like a military action film that's got a lot of deeper shit to say about how we see patriotism, how we see extremism, how we see, like PTSD and things like that. They're two different shows, but they're both really good. They're both really good.
It does what science fiction is generally supposed to be used for, and that's allegory.
That's right.
Like,
exactly.
To take these different concepts, and explain them to you in a way that is easily digestible.
Yep.
Or entertaining, Like, that's literally all of Star Trek.
Yes.
Like, literally all of it.
Right. Well, according to the folks over at Slash Film, this show is taking too long. It's being ruined by it being week to week. Okay. You just forgot how to watch TV, guys. Like, I love you, but like, knock it off. Come on.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about
Zemo. We can't not talk about Zemo.
They released an hour-long video on the official Marvel site of him doing the full dance on repeat.
Oh shit!
Look,
that's fun.
Look, Daniel Bruhl is a fucking legend. Like, he's a legend. Already, this dude's young. Did you ever watch the movie Rush?
No, I heard it was very good, but I wasn't into open world racing.
Open wheel racing?
Open border racing.
Oh, yeah, the flag smashes. So therefore, they're pro open border racing. Look, watch Drive to Survive. It's so good. And that guy he played, incidentally, died in the last season of Drive to Survive, which was fucking sad. I mean, he's just old. Like, he's just an old guy.
Okay.
But Daniel Bruhl is an amazing actor. And like, I'm not saying like the acting he's doing in this is amazing. I'm not like, it's not. But he's having fun. That dude is awesome. Like, he's super good as Zemo, man. He's really good. And I love the dance scene. I also love that, like, when he put the balaclava on, he was just like fucking people up. Like, that was his thing.
What a great way to get a stunt man to do all your action scenes too. Just have a full face mask on.
Does he? I don't know if he does. I have no idea. I like to think that he didn't.
My I had a feeling that this was going to be the thing that this show is worth the price of Disney Plus to me. Mm-hmm. This show, for me personally, it's all I need. I need more of this.
Yeah, I mean, you and I are both like super into like military, that border between modern and futuristic military action stuff. Like,
yeah, like
I want to see Red Wing open the door of a plane. Like, that's what I want to see. That shit's awesome. But Zemo was great. I like the idea that you have in the lore now that the super soldier serum is has been perfected, so that you don't have to get jacked like Chris Evans to get these same powers.
Yeah,
that was interesting.
Look, if you're an X-Men fan, that's probably how the mutation is going to start.
Right.
With
Ultimate X-Men. Right, because isn't that an Ultimate X-Men?
That happened in Ultimate X-Men. Everything is like an offshoot, especially in the Ultimate Universe. Everything was an offshoot of the Super Soldier Serum. Yeah. Like, that was the whole point, is they made Captain America, and now everyone wants to do that.
Right.
And they're trying to figure out how to do that.
And I wouldn't be surprised if this is the way you get X-Men, by this, this people kind of tinkering with this serum. Wilfred Nagel gets named. Well, he gets a part in it. He was in Truth, where, yeah, in the Isaiah Bradley story, he was the scientist that created that offshoot of the super soldier serum that he gave to those black soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everything is an offshoot of the super soldier serum. So that's probably how you're going to get X-Men. Like, it won't just be like all of a sudden people are just born different. Like, it'll get into someone's blood, or I don't know, but it's probably linked to that.
In the water supply.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it'll be linked to that, and it'll affect some, but won't affect
others. Right. Like that's the key point, is that like everyone will be exposed, but it won't, like, it's not definitive. Like, just because it touches you doesn't mean you get it.
It'll be like, or, guess what? We just had a pandemic where some people show symptoms of illness and some people don't.
I like some, but again, like to that point, that idea of like real world versus, like tying it with the comics, that's where that's good writing, right? Where someone would go, that's true. Cause some people get exposed to COVID and they're just like, I'm good. Like, I got sick for a day, I'm good. And other people end up in the hospital, right? So, and maybe that's like a little too close to home. I don't know.
Maybe.
Like, you got to be careful about that. Oh, they're trivializing the death. Like, relax. They're not. Like, just calm down. But I like the idea of the super soldier serum being this way that you kind of get to the X-Men.
Yeah.
But who knows? Like, they keep fucking with us, right? Like, the anomaly changes people and gives them powers. Like, maybe that's the way. And I'm like, it's going to go worldwide. No, Jay, you're wrong. You're dumb. Shut up. I'm like, all right, fine. But maybe it's this. I don't know. Like, it'll be like She-Hulk's blood or whatever. And they're like, that's what it is. I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. But I did like that. I did like that they're putting that out there, and it's kind of hiding in plain sight sort of thing. Yeah, look, I like this episode a lot. Not my favorite of the series, but I like that they're tying it harder and harder back to Isaiah Bradley. Like, every week they keep sort of, after they introduced him in episode 2, they keep mentioning him in this episode of like, they got the blood from this American soldier. Like, that's clearly him. Like, what are they, are they going to are they bold enough? And I think they are, because it's like the money is there, the fan base is there, they keep cranking out hits. Are they bold enough to say that Isaiah Bradley is the reason why the X-Men were created, right? Like, is he the Loretta or Henrietta Lacks of the X-Men universe? Like, that's a really interesting fucking perspective, right? Because that's literally what's happening. His blood was taken without his permission and is making super soldiers.
Oh, shit.
Like, is Isaiah Bradley the Henrietta Lacks of this universe?
Oh, shit. Yeah, that is literally what's happening. Come on, yo. Give me another reason to love this show.
But this is what I'm saying, you. And look, I'm not going to pretend like I'm the only one who thought about this. But like, if that's what's happening, I'm going to need people to stop saying like, oh, these are all formulaic and it's all the same. You got to look a little deeper as to what this stuff is.
I mean, I'm at the point where I'm willing to say Marvel good, DC bad at this point. Come on, yo. Like, until they...
You just got
there? Look, I'm trying to be nice.
I'm
trying to be nice.
I want them... Look, man. Of anybody, as much as I give DC a hard time, I want to see them succeed. I want to see a good Superman movie. Like, I do.
Who doesn't?
Look, I got my casting. I saw it today. Dude from Bridgerton. Like, just give it to that guy. If you're going to do Black Superman, the super handsome guy from Bridgerton, give it to him.
Okay. Yeah, he ain't doing nothing, right? He's kicked. He's not being in the next season.
Fucking rock and roll, dude. Like, what? You want to get women to watch the next Superman movie? Put the dude from Bridgerton in it. Yeah. Apparently he was trying to be Superman's grandfather on Krypton, and they were like, but you're black, so no.
Oh.
Well, that's a perfect payback. Make him Superman.
Right.
He's got the look. Right? He's handsome enough. But yeah, I think that they're clearly touching on this idea of using this black soldier as the linchpin for, Steve Rogers at least, and others, right? Like, so I think that's kind of dope. I like that.
Yeah.
It's wild, but I like it. You watch Bad Trip. Wow, we're still in checked out.
Yeah, I watched Bad Trip. Bad Trip is it's a hidden camera comedy film, and
really,
so it much like Borat, it has a story, right?
Oh, that's funny. I had no idea what this was about.
Yeah, so it has a story, and the characters played by Eric Andre Lil Howery, Tiffany Haddish, and Michaela Conlon are in they have an overarching story, and they're trying to basically Eric Andre and Lil Rel Howery are taking a road trip from Florida to New York to go meet Michaela Conlon, and Tiffany Haddish is after them because they took her car. And it's the thinnest of plots. That's not the point. The point is to catch people on hidden camera. I think everyone's using like little tiny GoPros because the quality is not good. But to catch people in different scenarios, and it's pretty funny, man. I don't want to spoil too many of them. It's a quick watch. It had me laughing out loud at some point. Certain points. Yeah. Okay. And look, I like to laugh, but like it takes a lot for me to get a belly laugh out of me.
Okay.
And it got me a couple of times. It's lowbrow humor, right? Like it is the lowest of lowbrow.
Yeah, no, I got that from Tiffany Haddish. Like, she's a lowbrow comedian. Like, and I'm not mad about that. Like, I like. And
she ain't even like she don't even have really like a lot of lowbrow. Like
Eric Andre is pretty lowbrow.
Yeah, like at one point Eric Andre is naked. At one point somebody's got poo all over them because they fell over in a porta potty. There's a trailer of one skit where this correctional facility like school bus is driving along, and this guy sees it, and all of a sudden Tiffany Haddish in an orange jumpsuit is running around, and she's like, yo, I gotta get out of here, man. Can I borrow your vest? And the dude working there is just like, no, you can't borrow my vest. No. It's like, all right, did you see anybody around here? He's just like, yo, you better go. You better go, girl. Get out of here, girl.
He was black, wasn't he?
He was black.
Yeah. No, black people fucked up because we'll be like, nah, you just go ahead. Like, he ain't gonna dive you out, but he wants to see you make it.
Look. He said, you better go. You better get out of here. She goes, she exits stage left. Here comes this cop, right? Oh, did you see anybody? And he's just like, huh? He's like, did you see anybody? Did you? I'm looking for a convict. Did you see anybody? Did you see a woman? She was like, what? Huh? She's like, you didn't help her, did you? And he's like, how am I help her? Give her my vest? And then the dude was like,
see, black people look out for black people no matter what. Yo, we don't give a fuck, yo. It's like that shit could have been a straight up multiple murderer. Like, nah, you be good. Don't worry about it.
He was like, the guy was like, so what, did you see you didn't see anybody? And he was just like, go over there. Go over where? It was like, go over there. Like he wouldn't point.
He wasn't trying to give her up.
He was like, go over there. And he was like, all right, I'm going to go. And then Tiffany Haddish comes back from the other direction. And she was just like, oh, thank you. Like, it was cool, man.
That's cool. Fucking hilarious. Like, you have no idea that she could be a murderer. He's like, nah, don't worry about it. No, we look out for our own, man.
So it was pretty funny.
I've heard nothing but good things about Bad Trip.
Yeah, you can watch this. It's like an hour and 20 minutes, right?
Oh, okay. I might watch it. I might watch it tomorrow. or today?
It's a quick watch, and yeah, it's pretty funny. And I need something to laugh at right now.
Yeah, boy. So do I. Oof. Oh my God. Terrible twos. All right. Science and Tech this week. It's an interesting article from the New York Times. A tiny particle's wobble could upend the known laws of physics. This is really good. So apparently, evidence is mounting that a tiny subatomic particle seems to be disobeying the known laws of physics. Scientists announced on Wednesday finding that would open a vast and tantalizing hole in our understanding of the universe. Apparently, this particle, like I guess about the size of an electron, they were saying is called a muon. That's how they it is a muon. I don't know what that exactly means, but it basically doesn't abide the laws of physics that we know of. So it does these other things. It responds differently. And they said basically this is eventually could lead to breakthroughs that are more dramatic than the heralded discovery of the 2012 Higgs boson particle. So it could very well be it could upend physics entirely because they just basically found this new thing, which is pretty dope. I think people often think we've discovered everything, or there's no way to discover any major things, right? That takes 20, 30, 40 years of work. Nah, dude, Higgs boson was 2012. We're in 2021 and we got another new big thing. As technology gets better and things like that. So they're doing an experiment called the Muon G2. It agreed with similar experiments from the Brookhaven National Laboratory in 2001 that had teased physicists for years. Quote, after 20 years of people wondering about the mystery of Brookhaven, the headline of any news here is that we confirm that Brookhaven experimental results were real, basically. So yeah, there could be some major changes to physics as we understand them in the next couple of years. So that's dope. Good.
I think there's
I feel like I'm too dumb to understand this article fully, by the way.
I feel like there's only one thing that we can draw from this, and it's that the X-Men are coming.
Yeah, that or vibranium, right? It's obviously one of the two. So, or Mephisto. Obviously Mephisto.
I mean, who do you think put the muons there for us to discover?
I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
They're testing your faith. Mephisto is testing our faith.
The road to Mephisto is paved with muons.
Make sure you remember that, Alice. That's just a person in the fan group who I just realized was their first name. I'm always watching. So lightning round. Micah, take it away.
Apparently, there is a new theme park attraction called Avengers Campus.
Yes.
Coming to Disney California Adventure. And it is going to open up in June 4th to be precise. It was originally supposed to open on July 20th, but was delayed because of COVID. It looks like Disneyland is going to reopen on April 30th. So get ready, everybody. According to Disney, Avengers Campus is dedicated to discovering, recruiting, and training the next generation of superheroes. It'll feature an Avengers ride with a full-size Quinjet. The ride will not be available in June. It will feature the Spider-Man Web Slingers ride, the Doctor Strange Sanctum, the Pym Test Kitchen, and a stunt show with the Dora Milaje and Taskmaster.
Okay.
And a Guardians of the Galaxy land. So,
which used to be that used to be another ride that they've repurposed, which is hilarious.
So, look, I like theme parks, not as much as like maybe Carrie, but
Yeah, Carrie, you're definitely going to this, right?
Yeah, absolutely she is. She's gonna go to Captain Marvel Land or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
but I would
women.
go to this.
Women.
I can't wait until my son is of age. My father took me to Disney World
In Florida.
Which one is in Florida?
That's
he took
World.
me to the one. He took me to Disney World when I was 5. And
I went when I was 13, 12.
And I remember it, and I don't remember shit. I remember going there when I was 5. So it was just me and him too. Well, me, him, and Mr. Smith and Dina, his daughter. But yeah, I can't wait for him to do that. Plus, we got family in Florida, so by the time he's 5, we can just make a week of it. And I can't wait, man. I can't wait. When's the last time you've been to last time I've been to a
amusement park?
An amusement park was like right before I got married. We went to Universal.
Dude, the last time I went to an amusement, I don't think my wife and I have ever been to an amusement park.
You should.
I know, because I like going to amusement park. I like roller coasters and shit. And I want my daughter to grow up as one of those obnoxious kids who's like not afraid of any of the roller coasters where like adults are. Like, I love those kids. They're like, oh, I'm afraid of the shockwave. And my kid's like, fuck you, I'm 5. Let's do this. Like, that's what I want. Right? She's like an adrenaline junkie. No, I think it's probably been 15 years since I've been to an amusement park. And I think that was probably like King's Dominion in Virginia. Like, I feel like, and I haven't been to a Disney place since I was 13 because, money. I'm not like Carrie. Carrie's rich. You should ask her for a loan. She'll give it to you. But yeah, I haven't been in a number of years. I would definitely take my kids to this, and I'm going to be an asshole friend and say, when you guys decide to go, you let us know. So we're going to ride on your coattails. How about that?
That's fine. Look,
you guys are going to pay, right? You're going to pay?
No, we're not going to do that. And we're not going to put you up, but,
damn.
Because you're not staying at my mother-in-law's.
No, yes, we are. Yes, we are. She knows me. The fuck out of here. I'm like, hey, we're back.
They live an hour away from Orlando, man.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
All right, that's pretty good. Right.
It ain't that far, man.
Yeah, we coming. Look. As black people, we're supposed to defend fellow black people criminals and put up our friends. We don't want to pay for a hotel. Help us. No, you let us know, man. We'll be there. Absolutely.
Honestly, my mother-in-law is so nice. She would probably be like, no, you two couples have the house and we'll go somewhere.
Yeah, that's crazy. Don't do that. I mean, like, but do that. Like, but don't. No, dude, you just let us know when you're coming. Our kids are just a few months apart. So yeah, absolutely. I'm looking for, we'll probably do it for her birthday because, her birthday's in the summer and mine's is in the winter. Yeah.
Although it's in Florida, like it doesn't really matter. But
your birthday isn't in the winter time. It's just in like it's in the late summer.
No. My son's birthday.
Oh, your son's birthday.
Yeah, my son's birthday is in the winter time.
Yeah, no, it ain't warm. No, fuck no, it ain't warm in January. Get out of here.
Yeah, it'll be Florida cold, which is like 68.
Right. It's freezing there. No, it isn't. Shut up. Meanwhile, it's 12 here. Get the fuck out of here. No, but this seems cool. I it's funny that you posted this story because I saw somebody make like a suggestion that Disney should just do an all Marvel land, right? Like just fuck it, just build a whole thing that's just Marvel. Because there's so much money to be made, right? Like Marvel is so incredibly popular.
You got that license, man. You might as well use it.
Yeah, just like there's plenty of space there. They own a ton of land in Florida too. So yeah, this Avengers campus, 100% would go, 100%. And then like, look, do you think I'm not going to go to the Star Wars shit? Like, come on.
Oh, absolutely. Like, you think I'm not going to make a lightsaber?
100. Right. Get out of here.
Come on, man.
I'm 41 years old. I earned the right to make my own lightsaber. Give me my own kyber crystal. Get out of here. Oh, that's immature. I know. That's why I'm getting 2 of them. Shut up. Yeah, no, I'm getting one. And fuck you, Carrie, for having one before me. You jerk. Jesus. All right, next story.
It was recently confirmed that Michael B. Jordan will be returning to play the lead role of Adonis Creed in Creed 3. The actor will also be filling in for the role of director for the movie. Okay, that's Sylvester Stallone, aka King Shark, has written about the project on Instagram, replying to a fan that while Creed 3 is getting made, he will not be a part of the project in the role of Rocky Balboa. I mean, that's fine.
Good.
Adrian was dead in that series.
Yeah, she died. She was dead by Creed 1.
Right. And Rocky Balboa he was on his last legs anyway. Would you have liked to have seen like a big fanfare because I'm assuming he's just going to be gone. Right. And I can't remember the end of Creed 2.
He goes to see his son.
That's it. Right.
Yeah. And now there's talk that he's working on like a prequel to Rocky, but there was also talk I guess maybe a year ago that he was working on another movie where he ends up getting sucked into being the coach for a Latino immigrant kid who wants to be a boxer. So like he leaves Adonis and then he goes down to help this kid. So I don't know if that's still happening or not.
How many white savior roles do you need, Balboa?
Right. Like I feel like that should just be the end of his arc.
Yeah.
Like that he goes and reconciles with his son. Like that's it.
He paid it forward, right? In training this new fighter who was the son of his best friend, who never got to have a father. And then he realized, the power that a father can have on a young man's life, and realizes, I've missed out all this time with my own son. Let me go do that. Like that's his arc, right?
Yeah.
And it played out. It played out the way it should have played out. So I'm perfectly fine with not seeing Rocky Balboa in Creed 3. Plus, this is like this isn't a Rocky movie. It's a Creed movie.
Yeah, like he needs to go his own direction.
Yeah, he needs to move on. Like if you put Rocky Balboa in that movie, I mean it's gonna overshadow him just a bit. Just a little bit.
Okay, so I mean obviously he's fighting Clubber Lang's like great grandson or something.
Don't do that. Don't
like
do that.
just give him a new person to fight, dude. Like don't tie them back to the original series. That's stupid.
Yeah. Don't they already did that in the second one. Don't do it with this one.
Here's my only thing. And I will happily admit that I think it would be kind of fun. The whole thing with the Rocky series is that his rival he becomes best friends with. I kind of would love it if he becomes best friends with Drago's kid. Like that would be I would be accepting of that as the only like tie back to the series, that they end up having like this mutual respect, and Drago's kid like the best way to do that would be if Drago's kid gets treated like shit in Russia because he lost and like gets hurt by like the mob or the government or something where he can't box anymore. Right. And not that guy was the greatest actor, but like that's the way that they connect, but he can still box, but he wouldn't be able to do it professionally. And so he's there with him. And he's like, look, man, like we both have father issues and, I'm sorry what happened between our dads and like that was fucked up. And like they somehow Have even they don't have to be best friends, but have this like mutual respect for each other.
Yeah.
Like that would be kind of dope, and then just let that parlay into him fighting someone else.
Yeah.
Like that could be a mirror of the Rocky series, is that he ends up being friends with Drago, the young Drago, going forward. Like that would kind of be dope, actually. Like that would be fun. Like you could have those kind of training sessions and shit like that. Like because Drago in the original Rocky series is just a villain straight up, and he has no redeeming qualities whatsoever.
Yeah.
So, to do that for his son would be kind of dope.
All right, next up. So there is a report. This is not fact. This is not factual. But this is a report that Into the Spider-Verse 2 will feature the 90s animated Spider-Man voiced by Christopher Daniel Barnes. Look, I'm all about it. This 90s show is what got me into Spider-Man.
Yeah, that feels correct.
Yeah, I'm sure that's blasphemous for all of you people who are younger than me but have been reading Spider-Man for older than I've been alive, for longer than I've been alive. But this is what got me into
and math does not check out, but go ahead.
It never does with you people. But this is what got me into Spider-Man. This is why I love Spider-Man as a character. And when I read Spider-Man, Christopher Daniel Barnes' voice is the Peter Parker that I hear in my head.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah, his voice, that Peter Parker is closely that his voice is so closely associated with Spider-Man to me, much like Kevin Conroy's is to Batman.
Wow.
Yeah, I and it's not like it's some sort of phenomenal performance, right?
No, it's tantamount to just how you see him.
Right. It's just the voice that I hear when I read Spider-Man. So I'm super excited for this. I tried going back to watch some of those old Spider-Man cartoons.
Oh boy,
is it hard, man.
Yeah. Where I'm just looking to see where I can stream it. Where is it?
Disney Plus. Get out of here.
Oh, is it on there? Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't realize.
Literally every single one of those Marvel cartoons is on Disney Plus.
I feel like I want to go back and watch the Fantastic Four one.
There's a couple of them.
They're
but
not
you know
good,
what?
man.
I don't mind that Doctor Doom and that Fantastic in the earlier Fantastic Four.
Is the Corman is the Corman cut on there?
Is it? I don't know. Look,
there's no way it is. There's no way.
If it is, we might have to watch trash.
All right, here it is. God damn. Oh no, 1994 Spider-Man.
We might have to watch it. We watch trash. If that one's on there.
Oh, I can find the Corman one. I'm not. Like, there's no way that's not.
And there's that Fantastic Four cartoon where like Doctor Doom had like he was like emo and had this big like green pimp coat. It was.
Is that the 2006 version? Oh yeah, his collar is like mad high. I never watched this.
I didn't care for that.
No shit. Wow, dude, this is not acceptable. Oof. Fantastic Four: World's Greatest Heroes. I don't like the animation.
I don't
style.
like any design. I don't like any of the designs for.
Why is he wearing that coat?
Like the ages are all off, right? Like Reed has salt and pepper temples, but looks like he's 24. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't.
He does have a huge coat. Like, dude's coat is ridiculous.
Dude's got this fucking popped collar. I mean, he's putting Doctor Strange to shame with this popped ass collar, man.
No, dude, this is not. I never saw this one.
It's
wow.
not that. It's not that great.
Yeah, but I'm gonna watch the one. Oh, this is like an anime. This is I'm looking at pictures of like Johnny Storm. Like, this is bad. This is he's got anime hair. Like, no.
Nah, you got to watch the 1994 the Fantastic Four. It's probably just as bad as the other 90s cartoons.
I never watched this one either.
Standards.
I watched the Spider-Man one, but I never watched this one.
Yeah, I watched this one. Do they have the Iron Man one on there?
Oh, they got to, right? Where he was Mexican?
They have to, right? Yeah, Mexican Iron Man.
Yeah,
because
Mexican Iron Man.
Like, I thought that was Iron Man.
I was like, El Iron Man now. Like,
I was like, why are they casting Robert Downey Jr.?
They putting a lot of disrespect on my man.
Comics.
Yeah, they put a lot of disrespect on my man. Yeah, 1994. It's on there. It's on Disney Plus. Blue hair, Benjamin Bratt.
Blue mullet.
Yes. Blue mullet, Benjamin Bratt-esque Tony Stark. Damn, they got like one season too. Like, this is disrespectful. Hawkeye was in this series too. Oh, I'm gonna watch this, yo.
They used to cross all these things over, man. James Avery was War Machine.
I do remember that. That's right. Yeah, 24. They got 26 episodes of Iron Man. Shocking news. It didn't stick around. All right. So, yeah, look, 90s animated Spider-Man is pretty dope for Spider-Verse 2. My question is, will they have a scene of Mary Jane just jumping out of a window to test whether or not Spider-Man loves her? That crazy psycho.
Yo, that shit was fucked up. Yo, like, you a crazy bitch. Yo. Like,
she was like, man. I was like, what are you doing? I just wanted to see if you loved me. What? Like, I've saved you like a million times. Don't just jump out the window. What's wrong with you? Oh my God. That was one of the greatest scenes of all time. God, I can't wait to watch this Iron Man show. I really can't. All right, next up.
Spider-Man Unlimited on here. Spider-Man Unlimited is not good, man. It's not. Don't watch it. What is this? Last up for me. Renee Elise Goldsberry is joining the She-Hulk series on Disney Plus.
Cool.
She-Hulk is a legal comedy that centers around She-Hulk, aka Jennifer Walters, an attorney who has similar powers to her cousin Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk. Goldsberry would play a character referred to as Amelia. Ginger Gonzalez was recently cast as Walter's best friend and announced at Disney Investor Day, yada, yada, yada. So we get a new cast member for She-Hulk, which is a legal comedy. Like I
your wife's gonna love this
show. I mean, she actually really might. She likes anything with lawyering. I forgot that it was going to be a comedy.
I did too before reading this. Yeah.
Yeah. So that makes me even more interested in it because, you know, everything is so self-serious in a lot of these superhero things, man. And when they let loose and kind of just like really have fun, they feel fresh and different.
Yeah.
And when they are intentionally trying to be funny, I don't know if I've seen one where has there been any in this like comic book renaissance where they're legit trying to be funny?
Oh, Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
I mean, I
just feel like that's just quirky and weird. Like not.
No, I mean,
specifically tell.
I mean,
I don't know.
Yes, it is, but what's his name? Who's the director of those?
Yeah, Taika Waititi is.
I mean, he's a legitimately like comedy guy, right? Like his weirdness is funny, but like I think that's the point, right? Like What We Do in the Shadows is that's the only other thing of him that of his outside of the MCU stuff that I've really seen. Jojo Rabbit and things like that. Like he's aiming at being funny for a reason. Like, so no, I would say Guardians definitely is it, but it will be interesting because that character. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say like that character of She-Hulk inherently should be kind of funny, right? It's like this attractive woman who is a lawyer, but also like dating and like kicking ass at the same time. Like inherently it can't be taken too seriously, right? And she's always been taken, like in the modern era, always taken relatively light. But with like the ability to just like kick some serious ass when she needs to. So it will be interesting. I only watched a little bit of, what is it, Orphan Black, that the lead actress has been in. And I need to, like, in fairness, need to go back and watch it because I hear nothing but good things about Orphan Black. But she's a really good actress, like from what I saw. So my guess is it'll be comedy, but not all comedy. My guess is it's going to be sort of a comedy drama that, like, you know, this is just being reported, right? Like we don't know how it's going to shake out once it actually airs.
Okay, yeah, like an Ally McBeal type, where it's like,
yeah, I could see that
funny elements, but not like a laugh track funny.
Right. I think it's much more like that with the Dancing Baby from the 90s. Like, you know, like obviously the Dancing Baby will have to be there.
Well, look, Marvel has built up an immense amount of goodwill, so I'll give anything a shot. I
mean, that's the thing. It's like, oh, this doesn't sound like something I'd like, and then they put it on. I'm like, all right, well, this is exactly what I like. Thank you. I mean, look, I really don't think, especially with these series on Disney Plus, they haven't missed. They haven't missed yet. Like, I know some people are like, Falcon and Winter Soldier is so much better than WandaVision. I'm like, they're two different shows. Like, that's how I look at them. Like, they're two wildly different properties. So I think as they go, those particular properties, I think they're hitting.
Well, I think, Falcon and Winter Soldier is easily digestible for people.
Yeah, most people like that type of genre.
Right. So,
like, I don't think you're going to find nearly as many people who are fans of action, light comedy, buddy cop, sort of like Lethal Weapon, as you are for Twin Peaks, right? Like, it doesn't mean Twin Peaks is bad. It's just a different type of show. Like, that's like comparing to, like, no one would make the argument, like, let's compare Twin Peaks to Lethal Weapon. That's a stupid argument. It's the same thing. Just because they're done by the same company doesn't mean they're the same thing. They're not done by the same director and, you know, that sort of thing. Movie and TV news this week. Look, I'm not sure that there is a person who's had been beaten to death by a baseball bat glow up than Stephen Yeun. Right? Like, this dude got killed by Negan on The Walking Dead, and dude's been on fire ever since, which is just kind of dope to watch. And look, I hate to say this because I know it affects it, and I wish it wasn't. But it is a part of the reality. Asian people being like systematically attacked and treated like shit during this COVID nonsense. And I mean nonsense by like the actions of people around COVID, not that it is nonsense, but like the Stop Asian Hate and things like that, I think has somehow made people more aware of how marginalized Asian people, East Asian people especially, are in movies, and South Asians, but mostly East Asians in this case. It's literally helping people to go, we should probably look at shit that East Asian folks are doing in aspects of art, right? Like, how do we give these people some shine? Yeah, it turns out Stephen Yeun is at the center of all of it. And he's now being eyed as he has been cast as the lead in Jordan Peele's next movie, right? He's off of his Oscar nomination for Minara. Like, dude is just on fire. He's everywhere. And it's dope as fuck to see. I wish it wasn't the aspect of just Asian people being treated like garbage that we've sort of noticed them. But I'd be remiss if I pretended like that's not a factor.
Yeah, it's I still think these things would be made. I don't know if they would get the shine that they are getting.
Right. I agree.
And it sucks because, like, people have to be treated like garbage for, people. Wow, they actually are human beings.
Right. Exactly.
Wow, they can do things that we can do. Asian people have been notoriously either A, overlooked, or B, fetishized. Right. And
No middle ground.
And you know, it's not. It's good to see that Asian people are creating, telling their stories, or just telling their stories and winning Oscars for them. Like, let's not forget, Parasite won Best Picture. What was it, last year?
Last
year?
2
years ago.
Last year,
man. And people were like, what? And then, you know, half of those people saw it and was like, oh shit, I can relate to this because it's fucking classism, and classism knows no race.
Right. Or this is a really good ass movie.
Or it's just a really good movie. Right. So,
even if you didn't get it. I still haven't got my wife. I still haven't got my wife to watch that.
Really?
She broke her glasses, and so she's like, yeah, I can't read the subtitles. She can't. She's like, we have to watch movies with American words. And then she said, really?
So you're not watching Minari. We're watching the next Black on Black cinema movie and Minari this weekend. I
can see just fine. I had laser shot into my eyes. I want to watch Minari before the Oscars. Absolutely. Like, give me an Asian family. Like, that's what I want. Look, I'm not going to lie to you, man. This is why I feel so strongly about like Shang-Chi as a movie. Like, Asian folks don't get any fucking shine. Like, Black people love Asian people. Like, we do. We love Asian culture, right? Like, we love Asian food, right? And Asian culture, like art-wise, does not get the shine that it deserves. I personally feel, and this is just me, they don't have to be anybody else's point of view, I'm showing up to see Shang-Chi like folks showed up to see Black Panther, right? I'm giving them, like, I'm not seeing Shang-Chi as a screener only. I will pay my real money to see that movie because I will give them the shine that they gave, that other minorities gave Black Panther, because they were fucking proud to be like, holy shit, those are non-white people up there making it big. Like, you got to show up for them too, right? Like, you have to. You got to show them that they can make it too. Because if Shang-Chi cracks $1 billion, and it will, if like theaters are open, that's why they keep pushing it back. Like, they want that movie to make $1 billion. If it does, then that opens the door completely for Asian actors. Like, it does. Like, it really does. Where that argument, like, can an Asian movie really like financially resonate with people? Yes. Joy Luck Club is not the only Asian movie that needs to exist. Right? Like, I mean, really, before Parasite and Minari, what was the big Asian drama that you knew?
Me?
Anybody listening,
like average person.
Like mainstream. And like, if you're like, oh, well, I knew, like, don't give me some like esoteric thing, but that mainstream America knew. Yo, it was the Joy Luck Club, yo. It was. And like, you can make the argument, what was the one about the wedding? Crazy Rich Asians, right? That was it. Like, Joy Luck Club, silence for years, Crazy Rich Asians, Minari. Like, that's it. That's ridiculous. Like, what, Asian people ain't make no other movies during that time? That's crazy.
Apparently not.
Right. They just stopped? Like, come on, it's stupid. So
I just sent you a picture of the latest Marvel Legends, which is, I know you don't care about toys, but it is a Shang-Chi wave of toys. So if you want to maybe see what the movie figures would look like.
Oh, yeah, I do. Second I get, God, Facebook fucking sucks. See? This is why. You know what? Never mind.
But they look pretty awesome. And
that dude's a pretty good actor, by the way. Like, Simu Lee. Simu Liu. He's funny. Like, he's got good comedic timing. Like, he's on Kim's Convenience. He's got good comedic timing. I think that dude's gonna super nail it. That dude is gonna be a massive star. Like, he is. Like, it's just a fact. He's gonna be a massive star.
Ooh.
Okay. Oh, that's Tony Stark AI. I was like, what the fuck is that?
I was like, why does Tony Stark have a blue head?
Yeah. Like, what is going on here? Yeah. Look, I can't wait. I can't wait. Can't wait. And again, I'm going to show out just like they did for us. Like it's our chance. It's our chance.
I can't wait for. Look, I can't wait for Shang-Chi. Black people love martial arts.
Hell yes. Are you kidding me?
Like it was a whole block of movies on Saturday afternoon, dedicated to martial arts films.
Kung Fu theater, yo.
Yeah, when we were growing up, and they love it, right? And you know, as much as American culture it just takes and takes and takes from Asian culture. It is the least you can do to leave these people alone, right? And stop harassing them, and two, show a little love their way.
That's it. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Look, I'm here for it. Let these people do their thing, man.
Apparently, he's going to be in a Netflix comedy called Beef, and he will star in the TV show alongside my favorite Asian, Ali Wong.
That's fair. Ali Wong, if you say that Ali Wong is your favorite East Asian, I get that. I get it.
Yeah. She's awesome. She's hilarious.
She's adorable, and she's a fucking psycho. That's what I like.
She's like adorable, and she looks like a good girl, but like talks like a nasty girl.
She's out of hand, and that's what I like about her.
Yeah, she is out of pocket.
Yeah, she is. Her entire stand-up is just like her just being just out of pocket the whole time. You're like, yo, but you're pregnant. Like, could you stop saying how you love to get fucked in the ass? Like, please stop. It's weird. I'm gonna keep watching. This is fucked up. No, she's great. She's a great comedian, actually.
Yeah, she is.
Next up, Netflix nabs post-paid video on demand streaming rights to Sony's feature films in multi-year deal. Thank you. So apparently Sony has inked a multi-year deal, exclusive first pay window licensing deal in the US that will allow Netflix first pay window rights to Sony Pictures titles following their theatrical and home entertainment windows, the studio announced on Thursday. Look, they're going to get Morbius, Uncharted, Bullet Train, and the sequel to the Oscar award-winning Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse as well after their run. The deal is worth $1 billion.
Jesus.
Oh, they also get Bad Boys and Jumanji, which implies that there's going to be more Bad Boys movies. Why?
Yeah. Because why would you say that, right?
Yeah. I was wondering what Will Smith was doing there.
I don't know if I want Will Smith and Martin Lawrence to be in it, but
like I feel like it's time to pass that. Like,
yeah, I feel like it's time to pass the torch.
Yeah,
I feel like it's time. But they tried with that TV show that with Gabrielle Union and Jessica Alba. That didn't really work.
No, people want to see them, right? That's the problem. But like, I feel like you just gotta give it to two young guys. You have to.
Like they're like, that was the whole point of Bad Boys for Life, right? Is that like these guys are old and they don't know if they still got it. Turns out they do still have it, but they have it a lot slower than what they used to have it.
Yeah, like they got CGI fights in some of this. Like, it's time to let it go. I don't know, figure out how to give it to like Martin didn't have a son. Like I was hoping that they would make it like Martin had a kid that was like aged up and Will would have a kid maybe or something like that. I mean, Will has a kid. He's the villain of the last movie.
Oh yeah.
But like Martin doesn't, so they don't have anything to kind of tie them together.
Martin has kids in the Bad Boys universe. He has children.
Yeah, but they're
young.
They're young, right? And he has a daughter, and then his daughter just got married. Like you ain't gonna give the Bad Boy franchise.
I thought he had like 3 kids. I don't know.
Okay. Maybe I don't know, But
I don't know.
They're not of age to take over the franchise. I mean, that part's
Right.
That's clear. So I don't know. Having the two of them do it again, where the last one seemed like we're old and we need to retire, seems odd to me.
Yeah.
So, whatever. But yeah, Sony franchises like Jumanji and Bad Boys were also in that deal. So $1 billion to Sony.
Jumanji is a perfect Netflix movie.
Yeah, I'm never gonna watch those in theaters.
It's a good movie. It's not offensively bad, right? But it's not like, oh my God, you gotta see this. If you got a young person, sit them down. You watching it too, you'll be fine. It's the perfect Netflix movie.
These are the Kevin Hart, the Rock ones you're talking about?
Yeah.
I've seen the first Jumanji with Robin Williams, which I enjoyed.
have not seen that movie.
Yeah, it was fine. It was
blasphemy.
Yeah. And that's fine. I don't think you really need to see those to move on, to be honest. All right, let's have a relatively serious conversation. I got called a racist by a white woman who thought that I was white because I disagree with Ray Fisher on this. Ray Fisher opens up about Justice League, Joss Whedon, and Warner's. Says, quote, "I don't believe some of these people are fit for leadership." All right, I'll be honest. The big thing that came out of this interview is that he was really upset in how he was treated because he was asked, or they demanded that he say "booyah," which, you know, obviously is from Teen Titans. That became synonymous with the character for kids. And he felt that was demeaning. I don't know that he called it racist, but basically is tantamount to being racist, or at least bigoted towards his character, right? Like, you know, he just didn't want to say it because he's a thespian. What are your thoughts on that?
On just that aspect of it?
Oh, just on that. I'm asking specifically about that.
I mean, I don't know. I don't like, it's not, I don't see a problem with saying, like, you know, booyah or whatever. I don't feel like it's demeaning. I mean, I think I see where he's coming from. If he didn't do any research on the character, he's like, well, niggas say booyah and I ain't no nigga, so I'm not saying booyah or whatever, right? Like, right. That's his mentality.
I feel like, I don't know that, but I feel like that's probably accurate.
Yeah. I'm assuming that is like his beef, but the way he was kind of building this up, like, you would have thought that he was like a French game developer or something, like just putting like racist like cartoons and shit on the wall and just right. Like casual racism just thrown around, you know what I mean?
Right.
Apparently there was no credible support for claims of racial animus or racial insensitivity. I mean, I'm inclined to believe it. It's Warner Brothers.
Right.
Like, I feel like stuff like that would have gotten out. Well, but maybe not, right? Like, right. Look at Weinstein, right? So, like, I want to believe this guy and his story. But at the same time, I feel like he is embellishing it a bit. And I don't know if I don't know. I don't know. Like, if he felt that bad, he should have. I would have gotten, if I were him and I felt this way, I would have gotten my lawyers and I would have gotten out of this. I would have gotten out of this whole, like, I don't want to be in this movie anymore. And I would have gotten my lawyers and we would have figured something out. If the claims of racism are so prevalent in the Warner lot. You know, you're screaming it from Twitter, where you need to be screaming from the mountaintop with a legal team behind you.
Right. Like, I do understand, like, in fairness to him, I do understand using social media as a way to kind of get your point out. But the amount of the lack of detail, I think really might have hurt him, right? Like, where he was just like, well, things happen. They happen. And like for months and like over a year, it was like, it happened. And you're like, what happened? Can you please just tell us, like, did he say the N-word to you? Did he say like black characters don't matter? Or did he like, and not that those are the only things that are racist, right? Like, again, I am a black man and I am ready to believe black people when they tell me that they've been treated by like they've been treated, you know, horribly by racists, especially who are white. I'm ready to believe you. Like, we have overwhelming societal evidence of that. I'm ready to believe you, but I'm going to need you to stop beating around the bush. I'm going to need you to tell me what happened. And he didn't for a year, 2 years at this point. Like, it gets a little ridiculous. And that makes me start to feel like it's not true.
And here's the thing. I believe that it is. I believe that some of the stuff probably happened.
Yeah, of course.
Because,
I believe he was probably treated shittily. Like, I don't doubt that. The guy has no acting credits in movies outside of this, right? So I could see him being, and I'm not saying as a knock, like, you got to start somewhere. This is a pretty good place to start, by the way, like being in Warner Brothers' biggest movies of all time. But like, I understand like him coming from, like, he's mostly done like plays and what have you, where a director would diminish him, right? Like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, I can totally
be here.
Right. I can totally understand. I can totally understand that happening to him. So I could believe that happening 100%. And again, I'm here to defend him on that.
But at the same time, like, Joss Whedon's on-set treatment of the cast and crew of Justice League was gross, abusive, unprofessional, and completely unacceptable. And he was enabled in many ways by Jeff Johns and John Berg. Like, these are heavy hitters that you are accusing. And look, maybe it's not my place to really demand proof, right? Because who am I?
Right.
But and I'm not, I'm not here to just completely shit on this guy. I'm really not.
No. And that's the thing. It's like, this topic actually takes a level of nuance. Like, I don't think the idea of being like, hey, you chose to play this character, we'd like you to say booyah because kids love that shit. And that's our demographic. That to me doesn't equal racism. Like, it doesn't. And just because I don't think that equals racism doesn't mean that I think he was treated perfectly throughout this entire process. I didn't say that, which is what apparently some dumb idiot on Twitter thought. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that asking someone to say a catchphrase as a superhero is not tantamount to racism. It's not. Robert Pattinson said the fucking "I am vengeance" thing in the Batman trailer. It's a part of the job. This is a part of the job, right? Like, Sweet Christmas is a part of being Luke Cage. It just is. That's not racist. Spoiler alert. Did you read the script ahead of time? Like, did they have booyah in there? And you were like, I don't find this acceptable. And then they decided, hey, we're going to put booyah in, and be like, hey, why is my character saying that? Someone goes, hey, the kids love it. It's from fucking Teen Titans. And this is our fucking demographic. As a person who is playing that role, you should be like, oh, kids are into this shit? Hell yes. All right, let's fucking rock and roll. And like I posted, apparently people don't understand context clues. This nigga is wearing a shirt that says Borg Life on it that he created. He came up with that, or him and his team or whatever. So catchphrases are not outside of the realm of possibility for him. Oh, well, a catchphrase and a motto are different.
Yeah,
you are literally making a distinction. You're making a difference without a distinction. It's stupid.
By the way, Borg Life sounds like a nerdy version of Thug Life. Like,
that's where it comes from, obviously.
I mean, come on, yo. Like,
here's my thing. And I try to be I've thought about this a lot. I try to be as nuanced as I can. I don't hate Ray Fisher. I don't have a problem with Ray Fisher wearing a Borg Life shirt. Like, when I saw that, I was like, no, nobody's gonna buy that shirt. Like,
I thought it was corny, but
right. Like, I was just like,
whatever.
You stand next to Superman and Batman, dog. Like, ain't nobody care about Borg Life. We get out of here. You wear that shirt at your premiere for the Cyborg movie, like not Justice League. But I'm not mad at him for doing that, and I'm not mad at him for putting like arts over entertainment necessarily. Well, I am a little bit. Here's my thing with all of this. I think they're all full of shit. It's not arts over entertainment. It's arts and entertainment.
Well, I think the AE stands for accountability over entertainment.
Is it? I thought it was arts over. I thought it was about arts over entertainment. Okay.
His tweet says accountability over entertainment.
Okay, fair enough.
Greater than entertainment.
Okay, fair enough. So, but to my larger point, you are playing a superhero. And superheroes can matter a lot. Black Panther is a perfect example of that. Shang-Chi is going to be a perfect example of that. Black Widow is a perfect example of that, right? And Cyborg is also a good example of that. They matter, but it's also entertainment. And sometimes in entertainment, you gotta say fucking booyah, bro. Doesn't mean you're not Cyborg if you don't say it. I'm not here to make that argument. That's a dumb argument. I saw someone was like, well, that's what people are thinking. That's not what I'm saying. Doesn't make him not Cyborg. But if you're making something for kids, and like, that's an important aspect. And look, if Zack Snyder was like, we're doing a super serious movie, that's his fault. These are characters for kids. That's
what I think happened. Because if you look, I'll read this paragraph. The Justice League that Fisher signed up for was a far cry from the one that Whedon ended up finishing. Zack and Fisher talked at length with screenwriter Chris Terrio before there was even a script. Quote, Zack and I always considered Cyborg's story to be the heart of the movie, tells Terrio. Terrio tells the Hollywood Reporter. He has the most pronounced character arc of any of the heroes, beginning from a place of despair and ending with a feeling that he is whole and that is love and that he is loved. Terrio and Snyder took the portrayal of the first black superhero in the DC film universe very seriously, quote, adding, with a white writer and a white director, we both thought having the perspective of an actor of color was really important, and Ray is really good with story and character, so he became a partner in creating Victor. That's also a part of it, right?
Right.
That's fair. He feels like, even if he doesn't know anything, like anything about where the character came from, right? Like, because guess what? I don't think Zack Snyder knew anything about where any of these characters came from, right?
No, that's pretty obvious when you watch a movie.
They are making their movie, and they are calling it these characters. But whatever, right? I get his perspective. If the director and the writer are coming to you and say, hey, black man, we don't know what it's like to be black. You have this character who has lost his humanity, and his overarching goal will inevitably to regain that humanity. He's embittered because of what happened to him, and he has to learn how to grow and be a human being again. If you got the writer and the director coming to you and asking for your opinion and asking you to create this character, right, and you got it in your head that this is the type of character you want, and then something tragic happens to this director that you've befriended, and this other guy who is a quote unquote nice guy, like the ones that promising young woman right, was taken care of. He comes in and he's just like, yeah, I want you to say booyah, right? I see where he's coming from.
I get it.
I do, man. I do.
But my argument is
racism.
Right. That's exactly it. if you're Joss Whedon and you didn't know about those conversations ahead of time and you weren't involved in that, be like, hey, and I think it was one of the executives or something who wanted him to say it, right? Like, hey, kids love this shit. Like, get it right. It's brand synergy, right? Like, you're playing a robot man, right? You're not playing, this is not a Daniel Day-Lewis role. You're playing a robot man in a Justice League movie. Like, never forget that. Like, and again, that's not to trivialize Ray Fisher. It's to trivialize, like, the seriousness of Cyborg. You're a robot man. Like, you are. You can have, Tony Stark is a guy in a fucking tin can, right? He is. That's a way to trivialize that role. But there's a lot more there, right? Like, there's obviously a lot more there if you want to take it seriously. So I'm not mad that he wants to take Cyborg seriously. But Joss Whedon or this executive saying, like, hey, we need you to say booyah. That's brand synergy, baby. Like, this is a business. This is a money-making business. That doesn't equal racism. Like, they don't go, well, we got it. Like, racism is, well, this black character, we need to have him say a catchphrase because, that's what blacks do. Like, booyah, bazinga, or whatever. Like, did I do that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're implying that that's what they did. And what it actually likely is, and I don't know, we don't know in the minds of anybody, right? So maybe he's right. But what it seems like is that Joss Whedon and this executive came in and was like, hey, we want you to do this after the fact that Zack Snyder was out. And they were like, this shit is overly serious. We need a little bit of lightheartedness. It's the same thing as what Fox did with the I'm the Juggernaut bitch. They put it in there because it was a popular meme. And the people watching this stuff are connected to those things. And you can say, well, I don't want to say booyah. Nothing wrong with you saying that. But it's nothing inherently racist about them asking you to say it. It's not. It's not. And someone said, well, when I posted the Borg Life thing, they were like, well, that's something that he respects and something that he created. Here's the problem, though. He doesn't own fucking Cyborg. He doesn't.
You didn't create Cyborg.
You right? Didn't. You might have come up with Borg Life or whatever, but you don't own Cyborg. They do. You are playing that character. So when they say booyah, you want a paycheck? You say booyah. If you don't, all right, fine. Then you don't. That doesn't equal racism. Like, I hate the fact that we have to explain, especially to white people, that what racism is. But that's not racism to be like, hey, would you like to do your job? If you say, go fuck yourself, I'm not going to do that. That's on you. That's perfectly fine. If he said, nigga, you're going to say booyah because niggas say booyah, that's racism. That's not the only way you get to that point of being a racist, but that would actually be racist. To be like, hey, could you say this thing that kids love? Nah, fuck you. All right, then fuck you. But that doesn't mean it's racist. It just doesn't. So yeah, I just like that idea that this is automatically racist is annoying to me. The shit he said about Gal Gadot, like apparently that Whedon said, wildly unacceptable.
I'm not surprised to hear about. I'm not surprised that any of this stuff coming out about Joss Whedon is true. Or I'm
not either.
It's it fits the playbook, right? Like, right. Oh, well, I make strong female characters, so you should respect me because I make them, I know you better than you, right? Like, right. I make women better than you could, woman. Or it's got a weird vibe to it. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I'm not surprised that this stuff is coming out. And I hope he has some sort of comeuppance for it. You know what I mean? Like, he was hot shit in the 90s.
He seems to be.
Because he created a bunch of stuff that people liked. But I'm not surprised. And it sucks for all these people that had to work with him.
Yeah. Absolutely.
For this shit, man.
Absolutely. So yeah, like I'm not in the mood to defend. I'm not defending Joss Whedon at all. I'm just saying that, like, not everything just because someone says, hey, I think this is racist equals racism. It doesn't. It's just simple.
Yeah. I'm reminded of the Fresh Prince not documentary, but reunion special. Mm-hmm. And that had all white writers. And sometimes white people just don't know. And they, sometimes the cast had to come to them and say, hey, black people wouldn't say this, or black people wouldn't do this.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that the writers were racist.
Right. They just don't know.
It means they're ignorant.
Right.
That's it. And what they do with that ignorance,
that determines whether they're racist.
Right. Right.
Oh, I ain't know that. We're doing it anyway.
We're doing it anyway.
Yeah. That would be racist. Like, again, you have to understand, like, I get it. People want to be woke, man. Like, I get it. Like, you want to fucking nail it and be like, I'm woke. I got this shit. Step out of the way. The problem is, if you are not black, be very careful in what you call racism. Like, just be very careful. And like, and I mean that like outside of the like obvious shit. Like, there's obvious shit that's racist, but like, be very careful, right? Like, perfect example, and I'm not saying Ray Fisher falls into this category, but perfect example is like the Jussie Smollett thing, right? Like, they were like, this is racist, and black people were like, okay, we gotta sit back and just go and wait. And then like you gotta like, we've had racist radar our whole lives. Y'all just getting yours 5 years ago. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't try to school us into what is racism. Like, don't. Like, we were born into this shit. Like, we were born in the dark. Like, you just acquired it. Like, just relax. Like, you just got it. Live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Or whatever Batman's saying that works really well. All right, let's go through what the fuck pretty quickly so we can get the trailers.
Extreme experiment confines 15 people to secluded cave for 40 days. What is this? Naked and afraid? In an attempt to gather data on the effects of long-term isolation without any notion of time on the human brain, 15 volunteers will spend 40 days in a cave located in this country. In what is being described as a world's first, 8 men and 7 women will be spending 40 days isolated in a large cave without phones, watches, or any type of device that can help them. The project is called Deep Time, and the brainchild of Christian Clot, who himself is one of the participants. This is not. I mean, it's new for a cave, but there used to be a game show, believe it or not, where people would be put in these sensory deprivation like rooms where to see how long you can last.
No, dude, come on. No.
It's absolutely just it's a white room. God, I can't remember the name of the show. It was a white room. It was like 8 pods, and everybody just went into their own isolated pod. And it wasn't like it was big. It was just like a white room, and you didn't know what time it was. And every now and again, the robotic voice of the host would come on and say, good morning, good evening, good night, because they didn't want you to know what time it was. And you just see how long you could last. And the person who could last the longest wins whatever bullshit prize that you think is worthy of making yourself go crazy over.
No.
But yeah, I got to see if I can find the name of that show.
Like, no, that's...
What
flotation tanks?
Huh?
Flotation tanks? Or We Float?
The name of the show?
Yeah. We Float?
I don't know. I'll have to do some I'll have to do some research.
No.
What country do you think is doing this nonsense?
Russia. This feels like something that's like not acceptable.
No, this is in the south of France.
That's the Florida of Europe. Get out of here. No, dude. No, you're not putting me in a sensory deprivation tank. No.
God, what was the name of that show?
I would flip out. I would flip out. Like, if I can't tell what time it is, they just had you in there for
Solitary. It's called Solitary. And it was a Fox reality channel.
Of course it was Fox. Of course it was.
It's whose contestants were kept in round the clock solitary confinement for a number of weeks. With the goal of being the last contestant remaining in solitary for how much would you pay to go insane?
Okay, how much did they pay?
How much would you want to receive for going insane?
Oh, tens of millions of dollars.
$50,000.
Right. I was gonna say 250,000. Like, yo, $50,000 to lose my mind? No. Oh, I'm an introvert. It's fine. No, dude, it's not the same. No.
Shit. It was wild, man. It was wild. I'm like these people are going crazy and shit. Like, and it's not like it was like dark. Like, they kept the light on. Dude.
No, you go insane.
Like, you can't sleep with the light on. Like, it's just, it was crazy, man. It was crazy.
What year? This 2006? You got $50,000? No, go fuck yourself. Like, no, absolutely not. $50,000
over 4 years, man.
I kind of want to watch this.
It was. I enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed it to see what kind of people do this. You know what I mean?
Nutcases, dude. Nutcases. Like, $50,000. Like, I'm not saying that's no money. That's a lot of money.
It's not. No, it's not no money. But like,
it's not worth it.
You can put a dent in your college loans.
No,
maybe.
No. You just wait for Joe Biden to get rid of that. Like, hey, I'm not sitting in a drunk tank for 7 weeks. Get out of here. No, fuck
wild, man.
No, white people are weird. Stop. Just stop doing that. My story.
They would do shit like feed them certain things to make them go crazy and
like what?
Like certain like hot things. Right, like because some people,
here's some hot peppers, you assholes. Go back in your box.
They would feed them, but they would give them. They wouldn't know what they were eating. They would just eat whatever they were provided, and the goal was to hurry up and get these people fucking out of here. Like, it was wild, man. Anyway,
that's crazy. Fox. Like, Fox is a psycho channel. Like, it really is. It's a channel for fucking psychos. I can't believe it's a real channel. My story, I think we talked about this before, but I doubt you'll remember the country. Bodybuilder has now divorced his sex doll. He married.
Oh, that's like Russia, right?
He now has a new partner.
He's got a new sex doll?
Let's find out. This bodybuilder has often been in the news with new updates about his sex dolls. And yet again, he has created a buzz on social media following his divorce from his former lover, Margot. He spelled it wrong. That's funny. The doll he married in November 2020 after dating for 8 months. Previously, he had made folks aware of several ongoing issues between him and Margot, and that he wanted to try other objects and keep exploring. While Margot was being repaired. This guy explored other objects and even, quote, cheated on his wife with a strange silver object. Okay. The man was contemplating his lifestyle choices and had decided to, quote, unload Margot and have several wives instead. He told media houses that he had wanted to take things further and even tried to meet another sex doll.
Tried to meet another sex doll. Okay, man. All right.
Any idea on the country?
It's Russia, right? Like,
it's not Russia, but it's somewhere close to that. Look, let me just say this. This guy's got a serious problem with, if I was speaking as him, he has a serious problem with my wife.
Oh, that's Kazakhstan.
Yes, that's correct. He is from Kazakhstan. Yeah, this guy is, yeah. Quote, remember my chicken experiment? So then I really, actually, hold on. I feel like I'm missing part of that. He said, quote, Lola has a woman's head, a chicken body, and the navel that has depth and can be used as a vagina and his penis inserted into it. I'll show you this one day. I identify her as a massive chicken. I guess that's the new one that he has. His new wife Lola is queer. Lola has yet to decide on her sexual and gender identity and is in search. Okay. So he's dating, I guess, a gender fluid doll. Here's the thing, dude. Go meet people. It sounds like, not trying to suggest anything to this Kazakhstan bodybuilder. You want to be with a transgender person. And you don't know how to say that, so you're trying to do it through dolls. I'm serious. Just go be with a transgender woman or transgender man. I don't know.
It don't count if it's a doll, right?
Right. Dude, you clearly want to have sex with a transgender person, man or woman, however that works out. Just go do that. It's fine. You don't need dolls. Be a grown up. Just go fuck who you want to fuck. That's it. That's it. I don't really have anything else to say. This dude is really trying to make this thing into something complex. Yuri said that the sex doll will have both a vagina and a dick, and he can't wait for her as it turns him on. Again.
All right.
That's not a judgment.
Right.
Find someone who's a hermaphrodite and go for it.
Hey, man.
There's nothing wrong with that. Do your thing, but stop playing with dolls. It's ridiculous.
Whatever makes you happy, man.
Right? Who gives a fuck?
Human interaction is great.
Yeah. Look, human sexuality is a sliding scale, man. It is. It's a sliding scale. There's very few people who are on the extremes, right? People shift around, whatever. So this guy apparently is on the different scale that is fucking dolls. And everyone else is on the human scale of having sex with people in the same species. Just go have sex with someone in your same species. I don't care where they are on the slider. It'll make you happy. She can talk to you. Or he can talk to you, depending on what you want. This person is a fucking doll, you lunatic. It's not real. It's an inanimate object. All right, trailers this week. Space Jam: A New Legacy. I've never seen the original Space Jam.
You are not missing out on anything. Michael Jordan is the worst actor in the entire world.
So I should never watch the original. Is what you're saying?
You should never watch the first Space Jam. It doesn't. It's just kind of dumb.
Yeah,
it's just kind of dumb.
It seems that way.
This at least this looks dumb, but it looks like people it looks like shit? Some money was thrown. Yeah, it looks like people gave a shit just a little bit.
I gotta tell you, it looks fun. I'm not gonna watch it, but it looks fun. Is this Warner Brothers?
It looks like Ready Player One. Yes, it is Warner Brothers.
Okay, so this will be on HBO Max.
Yeah, this is coming out in July.
Okay.
So if I can't say that I would sit down to watch this, but if for whatever reason people are like, "Oh my God, Space Jam is pretty fun," then maybe. It's directed by Malcolm Lee.
Right, I saw that. And I like Malcolm Lee.
I like his movies, man. So we'll I'm curious to see see what the reviews are for this, but yeah, it looks just as silly. Looks like Ready Player One. for Warner Brothers.
Right.
I don't know if Warner's did Ready Player One, but yeah, man, whatever. I see people like hating on it, like, oh, it's not much like in basketball. Michael Jordan was better. No, he wasn't. I haven't even seen this movie, and I can tell you, Michael Jordan is a worse actor than LeBron James, and LeBron James ain't no good actor.
Look, I heard one of the best turn of phrases of all year. Nostalgia merchants. Like, that's what these people are. Like, just because it came out when you were young doesn't make it good.
Yeah, man.
It doesn't.
Go back and watch clips from the first Space Jam, and you tell me that's a good movie. Get out of here, man.
I think, look, I've never seen the first Space Jam. I had no interest. I could totally see why kids would love this movie, though.
Yeah.
I can totally see. And I'm sure that's true for the first one, too. I'm not going to pretend it's not. But this looks fun. Like, it looks fun. I'm not going to watch it. Like, my daughter's too young. I have no interest in watching LeBron James try to act. I just don't. Maybe in a number of years, but maybe I'll watch it. I don't know, like for a review, but I have zero interest in it, but I don't think it looks bad as a kid's movie.
No. It's not worse. It doesn't look worse than Space Jam, the original. It just stop. Just stop.
That's my favorite thing of, like, the new Mortal Kombat movie. Maybe it'll be better than the original. It will. Like, it will.
It already is.
The trailer was better than the first movie. Like, look, guys, I know you guys love that movie. Weirdly, unironically, spoiler alert, it's not good. It's just fun from a you fucking filthy nostalgia merchants. Like, but the trailer for the new one is better than that whole movie. Like, it just is. The fights are better. Like, even the little bit we saw, the fights are better. So, like, don't be a nostalgia merchant. Like, I just don't. Batman: The Long Halloween Part 1. This trailer does literally nothing for me.
Really?
It doesn't do anything for me. And when I say that, I don't mean as a negative. I mean, I feel whelmed by it. I don't feel overwhelmed or underwhelmed. I feel whelmed. It makes me want to watch it, I guess, just to see what they do, but I'm not blown away by the trailer one way or the other.
I'm still a sucker for all of these DC movies.
Yeah, you've watched all of them.
Yeah, and I've watched all of them except the latest one, which is Batman Soul of the Dragon. I haven't watched that yet, but I am going to watch it. And look, I it's been a long time since I read The Long Halloween. What do you think of the art style? They're using the same art style from that first Superman movie, which is the same art style that's going to be in that Justice Society movie.
I like the
coming out later this month. I dig it, man.
It's Bruce Timm-ish, right?
It reminds me a lot of Archer.
Yeah, like the hard outlines and stuff like that with the characters. No, I don't mind it. I guess my question is, what do you think of Jensen Ackles or whatever, however you pronounce his name, his Batman? That was the big thing.
Yeah, I'm so used to. I've seen so many of these movies that I'm used to Batman not sounding like the voice that I want him to sound like.
Right.
That it doesn't really bother me too much. I kind of wish that they would hire people with deeper voices, but I want deeper voices for my male heroes for most of them,
right.
But particularly for the brooding ones.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want gravelly. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I want deep, right? Like big, deep, booming voices that fucking scare you. This doesn't scare me, right? Like, swear to me. Right. Like, you sound like you need a lozenge and you need to hawk a loogie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I'm definitely going to watch this.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I like the look of it. And I'm glad they're staying with this style.
I think the style works really well. Like I'm rewatching the trailer. I wouldn't like my favorite style Batman story is this weird, like futuristic in a way 1950s style that's from the animated series, right? Like that's what sort of spurred that. Like all the cars are from the 1950s, but like the tech is clearly from like 2030, right? Like it's, so it just kind of works. Look, I'll tell you, this may be hard to believe, but like that Justice Society, movie looks really like I'm gonna watch the shit out of that. That looks fun.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that movie.
I fucking hate. The only thing I hate is like, why is Modern Flash in it? Just tell us that fucking story. Just tell us the Justice Society story.
I'm very curious to see if they will do what they did before and create an animated universe with like-minded art styles, right?
Right.
Like when you saw that Young Justice like thick neck art style, all those movies were linked together.
Right.
And when it didn't have that style, they were one-offs.
Right.
Because all of these movies have the same art style, I wonder if they will be linked in some way, or are they just back to just telling stories,
individual stories? Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I wasn't blown away by this. And again, I'm not mad about it. Like it doesn't make me not want to watch it. I just like the trailer I don't know. It didn't do anything for me, but we'll see. I'm going to watch it.
Because you don't respect animation as a storytelling medium. That's why.
That is a fact. Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Everyone should watch Invincible, but yes, you're right. Absolutely. What is it? Yasuke? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yasuke.
All right, Weeb, let us know.
Yasuke is the tale of the African samurai. It's based on a true story. And this is like an anime series inspired by it. And I'm going to watch it. I hate to sound like this guy because I am not I didn't know Flying Lotus was doing the music. All the more reason to watch it. But I hate to sound like this guy because when it comes to anime, I'm not a purist, right? Like I don't voiceover acting has come a very long way from the garbage that was in the early 90s. Those actors.
Before you finish, I 100% agree with you what you're about to say. Go ahead. Because I've seen a number of people say the same thing, and they're absolutely right. Go ahead.
I like voice acting. I really respect it as an art form, and it's a form of acting that it doesn't get the shine that it deserves unless you are a goddamn superstar. That's starting to change.
Yeah, it is.
But I'm not an anime purist. I don't mind subbed. I don't mind dubbed. It doesn't really make a fucking difference. But Lakeith Stanfield's delivery is the most atrocious thing I've ever heard.
I told you. I already knew. It's bad.
Really turning me off of this.
The animation looks great. The story is fucking wonderful. I was like, what is this?
Like,
it's too deadpan.
It is way too deadpan. And look, I'm one of those people that I really didn't care for Sam Jackson's VO in Afro Samurai when he was playing Afro Samurai or Ninja. But at least he was
animated,
trying to act, right? Like, Lakeith Stanfield feels like he's just reading. He's just reading, and he seems
so disconnected.
He's reading on like downers, like he took some NyQuil or something, man.
Yeah.
Like at one point in the trailer, like Yasuke is supposed to be yelling, and it just, God, it really is souring me on this.
Yeah.
If there's a Japanese option, I'm gonna have to just choose that.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I kind of hope that he has a very limited amount of speaking parts. Like, I hope he's a strong silent type.
Yeah, man.
Like, it's just not, because I'm watching the trailer and I'm like, this looks really good, and I'm definitely gonna break my my personal moral code, and try to respect the medium as it is. But boy, is Lakeith Stanfield not helping me on this. Like, and I think that guy is a super talent, man. It just doesn't sound like he's interested.
Man. I just fucking whack, yo.
Yeah, it just didn't sound good to me. All right, cool. So I'm not the only one. Like, as you're like, well, I respect voice actors, and I was like, here it comes. Like, here it comes. Yeah, because nobody who's like super into this shit can, like, the second I watched the trailer and I went to Facebook, immediately the first person I saw talking about this movie was like, yo, this looks dope. But Keith Stanfield's vocals are not really hitting. I was like, all right, cool. It wasn't just me.
Nah, man, it ain't doing it. It is not doing it for me.
No, it wasn't doing it for me either. I did, before we move on to the next trailer, I didn't put it in the checked out. I did watch an anime this weekend, or anime type movie. Yeah, oh, that's right. I just wanted to see what you people on the other side of the world are up to. I watched Scorpion's Revenge, the Mortal Kombat. Well, that was violent. Wow. Like, really violent. I didn't finish it because I fell asleep, but it was just because it was late, not because I was disinterested. It was okay so far. Like, not bad.
It's fine. It's another retelling of Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah, I like that they're adding a lot of stuff into the lore, like stuff I didn't know, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah. Like I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah, fights are great.
Mortal Kombat is silly. It's silly, and it's violent, and it's it's about multicolored ninjas and sorcerers. It's it's like Big Trouble in Little China meets Kung Fu Theater. You know what I mean? So that's exactly right. I'm fine with it.
Yeah. So I'll finish watching it, but like, it was ridiculous. Like, that opening sequence was ridiculous. Sub-Zero's a real piece of shit. So, like, I appreciated that. I think we're going to get a lot of that in the movie. Next up, Those Who Wish Me Dead. Angelina Jolie is back, like, trying to help a kid in the middle of a forest fire. I thought this looks pretty good. Not anything like amazing, but I thought it looked pretty good.
I was surprised to see Angelina Jolie in a movie, just because I hadn't seen her in a while.
Right, absolutely.
Tyler Perry's in this movie, and it's the best type of Tyler Perry. It's Tyler Perry that's taking direction instead of giving direction.
That's the weird thing. That dude's not a bad actor.
He's not.
He
really isn't. I enjoy Tyler Perry, the actor.
Yeah.
In something that is not a Tyler Perry picture.
Correct.
But when it comes to like his own stuff, I don't know what happened. But
he's not a good writer. Like, he's
not a good actor in his own stuff either.
Well, like, I can't. I mean, he got to read his own work. It's bad. It's just bad.
But this looks pretty good.
Yeah,
this looks pretty good. I am not minding this at all.
No, I'll check it out. It's on HBO Max, so it's an easy watch. Jupiter's Legacy. It's a new Netflix series. This is based on a Mark Millar comic book about a group of people who get powers, like in the 50s, it looks like, and 50s or 40s, or maybe even the 30s. and they become superheroes, and then it's about like their kids taking on their legacies as they've gotten older. This trailer does nothing for me.
So I when you sent this to me, I said, have you I knew it was something from Mark Millar, and I asked you if you read the book, and you said no, because I haven't read it either. I haven't read it because there's something about Mark Millar that I'm just not, that I don't jive with, right? Like sometimes he does stuff that I think is great, like Superman Red Son, and sometimes he does stuff that I don't really care for, like Wanted, and I'm talking about the comic. I didn't really care for it, and I don't know. There's something about
What about
Mark
Kick-Ass?
Millar.
Do you like Kick-Ass?
I mean, Kick-Ass was fine, but it's nothing that like I don't. It doesn't. I think you need to be like in your early 20s to really like, yo, this is hard, yo. You know what I mean?
I mean, he writes fairly juvenile, hyper-violent actioners. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I like Nemesis. Like Nemesis was great.
Nemesis was pretty good. Like that's the thing. Like for every up for me, there's a down.
Yeah. No, I think he's a kind of a 50-50 guy. Like, look, you know, he had talked, because I had been talking with him on like social media for a while, and he was saying that, you know, Nacho Vigalondo was supposed to do Super Crooks, which is another sort of one-off like miniseries that he did. And, you know, he's gotten this big deal with Netflix. Dude, Super Crooks was actually fun. Like, it's like, this doesn't do anything for me, but like Super Crooks was kind of fun. It's like imagine Suicide Squad, but more competent, right? Like it was kind of like they were teaming up, not because the government was making them, but it was a group of supervillains wanting to pull off this heist. And so that's what they did. And they all used their individual powers to pull off what was considered like an impossible heist. It was pretty fun.
That sounds fun.
Like it was like, if it's not taken overly serious, it's kind of a one and done. You could do that in like a 3 or 4 part miniseries and like be done with it. And I would be here for it. This one, I'll check it out. Like I'm not going to lie and say I'm not going to check it out the first couple episodes, but if it doesn't hook me by episode 2, I'm out. I'm done.
If it doesn't hook me by the end of episode 1, like I don't have time to sit and invest in hours and hours of TV only to be like, oh, this kind of sucks. You know what I mean? Like an episode, like I will give you time to set your story up, but there's got to be at least some like hook at the end of that first episode.
I agree with that.
Where it's just like, okay, all right, I want to see what happens next.
Yeah.
Invincible did it, right? And
yeah.
And now I'm kind of at the point with Invincible where it's like I might just bank these and wait for them to
catch up,
all come out before I finish them, because I feel no need to it's not appointment television for me. Whereas the first thing I do when I wake up is I'm going to go watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I'm going to wake up early tomorrow.
So
because my day is crazy, I want to just watch my show.
Yeah,
I just want to watch my stories.
My stories, right?
That's all I want to do. Last but certainly not least, Loki. This is the full trailer for the Loki series for Marvel. I think this looks great. Like I really do. It's clearly a time traveling story. Tom Hiddleston as Loki is as iconic to me as Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man and as Chris Evans as Cap. Like, the dude just nails this role perfectly. Like, he just does. Yeah. And he's having such a good time doing it. So, yeah. Owen Wilson being in this is also really fun. Because I like Owen Wilson.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting Owen Wilson. I I haven't been following much about the Loki story. I like Loki as a character. I think he's an interesting character, and I think he is a great foil, a great villain, a great antihero. But he's not the character that I thought would get his own. Well, he's not the character who would get his own series that I'm super jazzed for it, right?
Right.
But again, Marvel's built up so much goodwill that I will literally give anything a shot that they have.
Yeah.
So June 11th, I'll be there.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to pretend that I won't. But this seems like a good time traveling adventure film.
Yeah.
My guess, he's going to do some time traveling across the MCU into events we've seen. Right? Like, which would be kind of fun. I mean, they've got him all over the place. And I'm curious about like this Roxcart organization. I'm curious about these time traveler organization. My guess is with Kang the Conqueror coming in Ant-Man, there's at least some hint of him, or of like what messing with timelines means, right? Like what that does to people and what that does to the universe. So yeah, I'm here for it. June 11th. I mean, we get a little bit of a wind down from Falcon and Winter Soldier, and before we know it, we're right into this.
Yeah, you're right back into it. So
yeah, because what do we have? We have another 3 weeks of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Unfortunately, that's it. Just another 3 weeks left.
Yeah. Do you think that'll get a second season? Do you think it's possible any of these will get a second season?
I think they are. Well, I told you what I think is going to happen for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, right? Like at the end of that, I think it's going to be Captain America and the Winter Soldier. And I think this movie, or I think this series was designed to fit so that if you just watch the movies, you saw in one movie Sam get the shield, and then in the next movie, oh, okay, Sam has the shield, right?
Yep, that makes sense.
But Falcon and the Winter Soldier was created to tell the story that is in between it. So it's kind of like if you read the book versus watching the movie, so to speak, you got a little more out of it.
Right, but it's not necessary.
Right, but it's not necessary. So I don't necessarily think that you will get a season 2, but between this and WandaVision, I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier would be more ripe for a second season.
Yeah,
I feel like WandaVision told its story that it needed to tell for that particular character, and now that character can move on to be whatever that character is going to be.
Right, which is clearly there's some more shit going on there. Like a whole lot more. So
you see, she is Mephisto.
Obviously.
Swerved all of you.
She turns out right in the beginning of Doctor Strange 2. Turns out, guys, like, oh my God. How do we know? All right. So I think that's it. Yeah, I think Loki looks really good. I'm all here. I'm here for it. So yeah, look, we're not gonna go over it, but there's a new final trailer for Black Widow. Looks fucking great. Great, man.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. So check that out, and we will see you guys next week.
See ya.